By the mid-1990s, daytime talk shows like Jerry Springer, Maury, and Ricky Lakes had mastered the formula of manipulation under the guise of entertainment. At its peak, it was a competitive market, but no one could have guessed that the most talked about show of them all would be the real-life drama that followed, becoming famously known as the talk show murder. Welcome back to Injustigate. My name is Justin Sullivan, and I'm a journalist who's covered everything from murder trials to chicken laws, here to talk about everything you never knew you were curious about. So without further ado, let the investigation begin. Back in 1995, a veteran and out gay man named Scott Amador applied to appear on the tabloid talk show, The Jenny Jones Show, fulfilling a lifelong dream of being on television. The show that was once a failing Oprah Winfrey show had found its footing with sensational and tabloid segments such as paternity tests and out-of-control teens. Amador, who was 32 and working as a bartender at the time, revealed his crush on his acquaintance, 24-year-old Jonathan Schmitz. During the filming of the episode, titled Revealing Same-Sex Secret Crush, Amador described details of his sexual fantasies about Jonathan, a straight man. While Schmitz appeared to be a good sport about it, shown mostly smiling and laughing, he was deeply humiliated and said he had been lied to. Scott and Jonathan met through their mutual friend Donna Riley, who also appeared with the duo on the show. Jonathan was also Donna's neighbor living in the same apartment complex as her. After their appearance, both Scott and Jonathan had extremely different attitudes and outlooks on the situation, especially as the episode had not formally aired yet, and Jonathan feared being labeled as a gay man. Just 3 days after the taping, Scott left a playful but arguably suggestive letter alluding to Jonathan's broken car light. Jonathan snapped. He proceeded to go out and purchase a shotgun and shoot Scott to death in his mobile home. Jonathan drove away, but moments later, he pulled over to a gas station, turned himself into police, and admitted to killing Scott, claiming he did so because he was embarrassed on national television. On paper, it was one of the most apparent acts of first-degree murder, but what became of it was a controversial debate over gay panic defense. During his trial, it was revealed that Scott fought back, attempting to block Jonathan with a table, alluding to more time Jonathan had to rethink his crime. But no one could believe the Jonathan Schmitz they knew could do such a thing. But since he did, the real question was, why? And was it premeditated? And was he also a victim? Whether he received a first or second degree murder charge was a determining factor in what his sentence could have looked like. During the trial, Schmitz's mental health struggles and history of being abused came to light, particularly by his father, who was admittedly homophobic and also told a court he questioned his son's sexuality after finding out about the show. Schmitz was found guilty of second-degree murder in 1996 in his second trial and sentenced to 25 to 50 years in prison. His conviction was overturned on an appeal, but he was found guilty again of the same charge, and his sentence was reinstated in 1999. Both sides would go on to admit that nobody really won with this verdict. The episode never made it to air, but the story was on repeat and covered heavily, even after the criminal trial, because of a subsequent civil suit filed by the Amador family in 1999. And this time, Jonathan Schmitz was looked at as another victim. The family sued The Jenny Jones Show and Warner Bros., retaining the famously animated attorney Jeffrey Fieger. Fieger alleged during the trial that the show neglected to look into Schmitz's past mental health and substance use issues that were brought up during the trial, and used his emotions for ratings. Fieger famously cross-examined Jones on the stand, pushing her to admit that the show did not receive permission from Schmitz to be humiliated when he agreed to appear on national television. Jones' past career as a stand-up comedian and actress worked to her advantage when she took the stand and testified that she had no part in the casting or behind-the-scenes production.
As much as we all regret what happened, the fact is that this tragedy is about the actions of one individual.
A finger-pointing game that we still see today at a time when reality television is being revealed to be everything but. The 7-week trial ultimately ruled that the show's producers were negligent, resulting in a $25 million judgment for the family. But it didn't end there. Years later, a Michigan appeals court reversed the decision, and the Amadors received no financial payout from the network or the Jenny Jones Show. And to add insult to injury, Court TV, who saw record ratings broadcasting the trial, was owned by Warner Bros., who was being sued the whole time. After Schmitz's trial, gay panic defense, which did help him specifically receive a lighter sentence, fell in usage and validity in modern law. Jonathan Schmitz was ultimately released in 2017 after serving 22 years in prison and remains out of the public eye. Scott's brother Frank, who has been an advocate for his brother's memory, spoke out expressing neutrality to Jonathan's release, while maintaining that the daytime talk show is just as responsible for the murder of Scott Amador. The whole case changed daytime talk shows as we knew it and led to its eventual downfall in the mid-2000s and a critical reception of it years later, spawning real conversations about the dark side of reality television and what its rise says about society. Did daytime tabloid shows talk so future reality shows could run, manipulate what we deem as reality, and entertain almost a desensitized society? Answering that question is difficult because what you get is some sort of temporal paradox of who controls whom, media or society. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment your opinions down below. I'd love to hear them. And until next time, stay tuned and stay curious.